An earthquake has just hit by New York, going all the way up. If you felt it in Long Island, you felt it in Washington. It's like 5.8. It was small, but the point being still, if the epicenter was like City Hall or something. And what is this? Hurricane Irene is coming down here? What the hell is going on? It's like the disastrous weather catastrophes before I go back to college in like 6 days. This is how severe were the tremors?
Here in New York. It was shaking. Again, what Leslie had said earlier.
My dad was out at work. My uncle was like in his bed. He thought he had a muscle spasm or something. I don't know. I didn't feel a thing. I just came back from the gym. I jogged back, and like a guy was like, he'd drive me back. I'm like, no, I gotta work out. I'm like, why did he do that? And I figured, an earthquake hit. Oh, shit.
That's exactly what you were sitting through when
it
was happening. But the thing I can liken it to most is like what Leslie said earlier about it, just like a subway going by and the tremors of the subway vibrating around you. That's pretty much how it felt. And like I said, it really only lasted about 20, seemed like 20 seconds. It may have been longer, but it just seemed like, 20, 30 seconds, and then it was over.
All right, Mark Weingarten, New York One Sports producer from D.C., talking to us about this apparent earthquake. Thank you very much for sharing your experiences with us. We also want to point out to our viewers that that earthquake has been upgraded now from what was earlier reported as a 5.8 magnitude quake is now 5.9 officially. We have our Diane King standing by on the phone as well. She covers the business community, and she was at the New York Stock Exchange when the earthquake struck. Diane, what can you tell us?
Well, I can tell you we certainly felt the tremor down here. Both my producer, Aaron, and I turned to each other and said, did you feel that? So we felt it. We both thought, this doesn't feel like a subway. We'd never felt the subway below us down here before. So we knew something was not right. And then we heard the news about an earthquake happening in Virginia and the tremors reaching as far as where we were. So, we just kind of put two and two together.
Yeah, I had to put my Salesian shirt on. Apparently, it was in Virginia or something.
He also said his wife and May.
Thanks so much for talking to us. All right, we have New York One reporter Stefan Kim standing by on the phone. He is in Astoria, Queens, with more on.
It's very rare that an earthquake hits New York,
Stefan,
but
what can you tell us?
If it hit Virginia, we felt it here in New York, downtown New York.
I can tell you what I felt was very brief. In fact, it almost felt like somebody had bumped my parked car. I turned around to see if someone was parking. Nobody was there. Thought it was definitely odd. It didn't last long. Then I started hearing reports, of course, from our station that there was an earthquake. So I got out the car and spoke to a few people. I guess it depends on who you talk to. I met a guy who says he was in his home, didn't feel a thing. 3 other people said they were in their homes. They did feel, their frame, their windows shaking, lasted about 5 seconds or so. They said that nobody went running into the streets panicking, but people were saying there was an earthquake. They definitely felt it. One woman said she was in her office, and they were watching the TV, and they had their computer monitors. They started shaking. They went off. Then I ran into a guy who just got off the train, and he told me on the train, nobody felt anything. It didn't seem like anything happened. Nobody noticed. So I guess out here in Queens, depends where you are, if you were paying attention or not. As far as on the streets, everything looks normal, back to normal as it was. But certainly we felt it, but it was very brief.
Yeah, it was absolutely terrifying, Stefan, and I want to thank you very much for sharing your experience with us. We also have New York One news producer L.J. Spate. He's standing by to tell us about his experience. L.J., I don't know where you are.
Apparently, Lazo didn't feel this thing either, so yeah. I just typed on my Facebook wall page. What the hell? It disappeared! It disappeared!
I was actually
Is it back?
some vegetables, and all of a sudden I realized my hand was starting to shake, and I couldn't really understand why. So I stopped for a second just to get my composure back, and then I realized...
Okay, it's back. I typed earthquakes, hurricanes. Why didn't it go away to college like Sean or Cosgrove? Back scratcher! So back scratcher. Hertz Castle Snow Globe. This earthquake is nothing like the earthquake that hit California that time ago, so yeah.
Far-reaching. It apparently was centered in Virginia, some 90 miles away from Washington, D.C. It
City Hall.
was declared a 5.9 magnitude tremor. It shook much of the East Coast, all the way up to Rhode Island and as far south as North Carolina. We're told it was 3.7 miles deep, according to the U.S. Geological Survey. And it was felt at the White House, and we understand the White House was evacuated along with the Pentagon in Washington. We also heard that a number of buildings here in New York were evacuated. We spoke to New York One news courier Howie Schleckman. He told us that Staten Island University Hospital was evacuated. And our own Cheryl Wills, who was on Long Island at the Nassau University Medical Center there, she said that was evacuated as well. I understand Assemblyman Dan Decker is on the phone now.
Hello?
He is joining us from Jackson Heights.
Oh, hi, Nancy. Did you feel the earthquake?
Thanks for agreeing to speak with us. It was pretty scary, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, we see. I just called Frank. He was at work. He felt it. Uncle Mikey thought he had like a muscle spasm or
The
something.
people in the area self-evacuated and all met out on the corner where we then called up the New York City Office of Emergency Management Watch Command.
What's this number?
That it was an earthquake. Many of us were very concerned because of our close location with LaGuardia Airport. We were afraid it might have been some sort of aviation incident.
No, she's not.
It was quite scary.
You know, there really is no official procedure that I'm aware of in New York in the event of an earthquake, Assemblyman.
No.
Is that something you'd like to see readdressed?
Well,
One bedroom.
I'm very confident. Before I was elected to office,
And the ceiling's kind of low.
The New York City Office of Emergency Management,
like
they do
900.
have many plans in place, all hazard preparedness plans in case of an event like an earthquake, which would cause several utility outages.
We know Mike McGuire. He might have
Most
it.
people were prepared in their homes and had home kits and have a communication plan and are prepared that they'll be a little bit more at ease. The fact that it was an earthquake, which is something that we don't experience here on the East Coast much, is something that was probably new to many people because it's not a common event for this type of area.
What is the procedure, though? Can you share that with us?
I wish I did. I just came back jogging from the gym.
Should government
I'm
buildings
surprised
be
I didn't feel
evacuated?
anything.
This only lasted some 20 seconds, but I guess you have to be concerned about aftershocks now.
Yes, I would imagine you would, and the exact procedure for each building, I would imagine most buildings have their own plan as far as a citywide plan. If there's not imminent danger to people, obviously, the best things for you to do is to take cover in appropriate places. They've always said that underneath the doorway is a good strong location in a home. You have to be careful about going out if there's falling debris. You have to be aware of your surroundings. But again, most of this will come with preparedness. If we could just get more New Yorkers to look into these types of events, whether it's a utility outage or even some sort of terrorist event or a natural disaster. If we just all prepared a little bit and understood what to do, would be better for us when the event actually happens.
It has been like raining nonstop the past 3 days. So when you started thinking about it, I went to a water park with my cousins and my bro. And like the thing was, we were coming back. It was like a thunderstorm or something. It was like the thunderstorm kept coming. Then the next day, it came again.
Repercussions as a result of this? Any problems with the traffic, perhaps, or any injuries?
I don't as of right now.
Hello, Tommy.
That,
Is
if you
Patrick
need more
there?
information like that, you should either call up, obviously, the New York City Office
This is
of
cool.
Management or Police Department.
So it's like your TV shook? What happened?
In our neighborhood in Jackson Heights, like I say, many people did self-evacuate. We all met out on the corners from various buildings.
Hey, Patrick.
People had their planning. Like, for
What's up?
example, I called my wife.
I just came back from the gym. I really wish I did.
I called my daughter. So we knew what had to do because we have our plan in place.
Did it fall or something?
And obviously, some people might have experienced some phone outages.
Actually, it was in Virginia, but they felt it better in Washington than we felt it. So they had to evacuate the White House and the Pentagon.
Cell phone, so the system gets a little incapacitated, and that's why we.
That's the news.
When I was at OEM, that you have an out-of-state contact or another area code.
No, I'm watching some other news channel. I'm watching
Glenn
Beck. No, seriously, he's off there.